And it all kicks off in the bantamweight division as we have Bekzat Almakhan coming in at plus 140 going up against John Matsumoto, who comes in at minus 160. Now Almakhan is coming off of a pretty dominant decision loss at the hands of Ilia Toporia's brother, Alexandre Topuria. That night, Topuria was able to stuff the takedowns of Almakhan and walk him down like the classic Topuria style and unload big shots on Almakhan, leading to that fight going to the scorecards and Almakhan being busted up the entire way. Almakhan is now 1-2 in the UFC after that quick stoppage victory that he had over Brad Katona in his lone UFC win, and then obviously the demolishing performance that Umar Nurmagomedov put on Almakhan in his UFC debut. Very, very unfortunate and bad look for Almakhan in that fight. But he did obviously join up with the American top team after that loss to Nurmagomedov. He's rounded out his skill set pretty well. His striking is a little bit better than it used to be, but he's a guy that heavily relies on that grappling, and if he doesn't have enough of a striking edge over his opponents and he can't get to his grappling, that's where we see him often struggle, just as we saw in the Topuria fight. He is a little bit long and lanky for the division, so it helps him with his striking, especially from range and from distance. He throws with some power and some speed as well, so he has some good things to work on there, but it's about implementing it against guys that he can't find that safety with when he wants to go out there and actually wrestle, or if he can't knock them out as quickly as he did against Brad Katona. Now this weekend, he goes up against John Matsumoto, who has gone to 3 straight split decision fights as of late, and he is 1-2 in those matchups. The first of which was that short notice spot that he got against Rob Font, and that was a fight that I thought was very close. I thought it was, you could give Matsumoto pretty much, what was it, 2 of those rounds? Excuse me. I thought it was the first round that he should have got. There's that weird, controversial fake glove touch shot from Rob Font that seemed to stagger Matsumoto right off the bat, and that allowed Font to get in on a takedown. But Matsumoto eventually worked out of it, got back to his own offense, and started getting off on his own damage. And then I think it was the second round that he won as well before Rob Font took over in the third. Either way, split decision loss there for John Matsumoto. Then he goes up against Miles Johnson and has a very competitive matchup there. That was a fun, close fight. I know a lot of people thought that Johns deserved to win the fight, especially with 5 of those takedowns that Johns was able to land, but it seemed like Matsumoto was able to land just a little bit more damage to sway the judges in his favor. And then last time around, he went up against Farid Basharat, and he was the one that landed 7 takedowns in that matchup. I thought it was clear that he won round 3. Round 2 was close because you got Matsumoto's control going up against some of the solid striking work that Basharat was doing in the first half of that round. And then the first round I thought was clearly for Basharat as well, who's doing very good work with his striking. So it's been a really tough road for Matsumoto over his last 3 fights. He has shown he is UFC level. He's one judge scorecard away from winning some of these fights. His only 2 losses have come in the UFC thus far, but they are very, very competitive fights. This guy is a nasty Muay Thai specialist with good leg kicks, and he's shown his ability to go out there and wrestle as well if he needs to from an offensive perspective. Defensively, he can give up takedowns, and that's kind of the issue in his game. But I love the ability for him to quickly work back to his feet and not give up too much control time, leading to him getting into the driver's seat in a lot of his matchups. Now this weekend, he's going up against Bekzat Almakhan in a fight where Almakhan will more than likely be looking for the takedowns, but I believe that Matsumoto will get taken down, but I believe he'll be able to get back to his feet in relatively quick fashion, and then from there, I think he'll be able to show off his striking advantage. Almakhan might have a little bit of a speed advantage, and he could have some decent pop on his shots early, but I think as Matsumoto starts to wear him down, starts to land his leg kicks, starts to land his big combinations of his own, some of his elbows inside the clinch, and he starts to stuff those takedowns as Almakhan starts to slow down, that's where I think we see Matsumoto really start to pull away in this fight. So I know a lot of people would rather want a closer line here, especially from Matsumoto, who's gone to 3 straight split decision fights. But I think this is a fight where he'll clearly separate himself from Almakhan, especially around that second round, especially as he continuously works back to his feet, breaks the will of Almakhan and showcases to Almakhan that he's not going to just give up and allow him to control him. And then again, I think Matsumoto is the better striker as well. So my official prediction will be John Matsumoto by decision.